factories of Nazi Germany were fed by Silesian coal, French ores, and Nazi Germany was growing stronger. Its plans of invasion were likewise expanding, and they were not confined to Europe. Hitler's great power plans included liquidating the independence and sovereignty of the countries of Asia, Africa, and America. Civilization was approaching a cataclysmic military catastrophe. Now, Hitler's main drive was aimed at the East. June 22nd, 1941, Nazi Germany attacked the Soviet Union with an army of unprecedented power. However, the fascists did not know what awaited them. From the very first day of the war, the entire country arose to fight the enemy. The State Committee on Defense was formed in the Soviet Union, and nationwide mobilization proclaimed. All plants and factories were quickly evacuated from the frontline regions. Deep inside the Soviet Union, new industrial centers were created, which are using for the front and for the victory. The Communist Party of the Soviet Union ensured strong unity of the country's political, state, and military leadership. The country was turned into a united military camp. The enemy was driving for Moscow, and the slogan of those working in the rear was double and triple output of military technology, everything to defeat the enemy. More than 1 million men of Hitler's crack troops ran headlong into the iron staunchness, courage, and bravery of Soviet troops near Moscow, completely destroying the myth of the invincibility of Hitler's war machine. Upon entering villages and towns liberated from the Nazis, every Soviet soldier experienced feelings of anger, hatred, and indignation for the enemy. The Allies in the enemy front. The Hitler High Command took advantage of this to throw more and more divisions at the Eastern Front. The enemy was driving for the Caucasus and Stalingrad, striving to inflict a fatal blow on the Soviet Union. In fighting, unparalleled in scale and intensity, in the battle for Stalingrad, the Soviet army broke the back of the strategic group of Nazi forces, and the Soviet troops started their rapid advance westwards. The world now saw that nothing could stop the advance of the Soviet forces. After defeating the enemy forces in the Battle of the Kursk Bulge and carrying out several other brilliant offensive operations, the Soviet Army liberated the country, the left banks of the Ukraine and the Donbass, and reached the borders of the USSR. These victories inspired the liberation movement in the occupied countries and the consolidation of the anti-Hitler forces. The guerrilla armies and units in Yugoslavia, Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Bulgaria, the resistance movements and the anti-fascist underground in other countries fought valiantly against the Nazi invaders. But among the people of the occupied countries, all hope of liberation was connected with Moscow. It was becoming increasingly apparent that the Soviet Union was capable of independently liberating the nations of Europe from fascism. Now, the Anglo-American allies, following the decisions of the Tehran Conference, were in a hurry to start operations, opening the Second Front in France. With little resistance from the German troops, locked in battles of the summer campaign along the Eastern Front, the Allies advanced rapidly deep into the continent. Simultaneously, in the east, the Soviet troops launched a mighty offensive operation in Belorussia.